Has any specific story, face, or moment deeply moved you?
I think the thing that moves me most is the openness and the welcomes that I've been given really almost everywhere where I have reached out to request to take photographs and enter their communities. It's really remarkable that they trust somebody like me to come and take photos. And, that is, I think, for me, the most surprising thing. Because I say that because it's hard for me to imagine one of them coming from their community, coming to a community like where I grew up in Washington. I think, that they wouldn't maybe get the permission quite so easily to come and take photographs. They'd be welcome to the community to join for the holidays or the weekly services, of course. But yeah, I think it's an interesting question. So, but anyway, for me, it's those welcomes that really, even to this day, that when I think about it and talk about it now, it's actually a little bit emotional for me because it's a very special thing, and it's not something everybody gets to experience. So I'm very grateful for all of that from them.
Why Tokyo? What brought you there? And why did you decide to stay?
Well, so I originally came to Japan in 1994, and I really don't know why, or not why, but how I should say, I got started on the thought of wanting to come to Japan. Sometime before I came, obviously, I had somehow developed an interest in Japan culturally and such, and I was determined to come. And I thought, maybe I'll come for a couple of years. I had no idea I would end up staying all these years. And then 5 years ago, I settled in Tokyo after I had taken 2 years back in London and went to graduate school to study photography, of all things. And then when I came back, I settled in Tokyo. But life in Japan is comfortable and peaceful, and I just am very happy here. So, and I'm very fortunate and very grateful for the opportunities I have to work here, and thankful to the Japanese government for allowing me a visa, which allows me to live here. So, yeah, it's nice and it's special.
Do you speak Japanese today?
I speak Japanese, yes, not as well as I should, to be honest. After being here 30 years, 31, 2 years, I should be much more proficient. Unfortunately, I never took the time to really study the language, like in a school with a teacher, and I never actually did that. So I'm primarily self-taught. So I speak Japanese, but yeah, I will say not as well as I should.
What's it like being Jewish in Tokyo? Do you feel isolated or well connected?
No, I don't feel isolated at all. I mean, the answer to your initial part of that question is yes, there are several elements of Jewish community here in Tokyo. What I mean is there is a so-called Jewish community, which is centered in a synagogue, and it is expats, meaning people who are long-term, who have lived in Japan a long time, plus other people who come to Japan maybe for a year, a couple of years, maybe on business or study. There are no born Japanese Jews. There are a few members who have converted, primarily women who have married Jewish men, I'm pretty sure. So there's one Jewish community, and then in Tokyo, there are actually two Chabad centers. And I know Chabad is very well represented in Morocco and all around many places in Africa. And then there are other Chabad centers. I'm not sure now, maybe 6, 7 in Japan in various places. So Chabad has a very good presence here. So there's a lot of things to participate in the Jewish community here. But overall, it's a small group, maybe a few hundred active people. So not terribly big, but pretty active.
Is there a local Muslim community?
No, I don't personally have any connection with Muslim friends or anything like that. But I have. There are plenty of Muslim people here. I'm not sure. There must be. I'm pretty sure in Tokyo there must be a mosque. I'm sure. I know there are mosques in Japan. Um, my guess is it's sort of a similar size to the Jewish community. Mostly is expats. I don't believe there are any actual Japanese Muslims by birth. Maybe a few who have converted similarly to a few Japanese who have converted, probably mainly because of marriage, rather than just a choice. I don't know. I'm just speculating, really, but I think it's probably similar.
What about Christianity there?
Yes, well, Japan is a land of both Buddhist and Shinto shrines and Buddhist temples. So, yeah, Japanese are not really a religious people. So Christianity only has, I think, about 1% of the Japanese population, and and the Japanese, sorry, not the Japanese, the attempts by various people throughout history over the last 500 years to convert Japanese to Judaism has has failed spectacularly. There have been many attempts to get Christian faith to take hold here, but it never has. There are lots of churches here, and they seem to be active. And there are people Japanese who do go to these churches, but I don't know how many of them have actually converted. I just know that overall, about 1% of the population, I think, is recognized as actually Christian. So, yeah, religion here is kind of not a very deep part of too many people's daily life. And when I say that, I mean Japanese people, as opposed to other foreigners Jews or Muslims or Hindus who they are very religious. But yeah, for the Japanese people, religion is not a very strong element in their daily life.
Is your photography a religious project?
Well, the short answer is no. I'm not looking for a religious-based project. Just to clarify, my Jewish photography was not really centered on the religious aspect of Jews. It's always been more about documenting just Jewish life and culture, historical things, old buildings and historical sites. And through that, any expressions of religion that came through the photographs is something to be included. But my inspiration was not from a religious point of view. So yeah, I've never thought about the idea. It's a good question. It could be a very interesting subject to do a Buddhist Shinto photography project on the Jews on the Japanese people.